Good morning. Happy Saturday. Welcome to Coffee and Coaching this morning. I'm just going to give it a minute as we get started. It lets some of our viewers know that we're going live and our Artsy members, if you're joining. My name is Maria, and I love to creatively help you make money doing paint parties or art parties, art events. If you've come across this channel and you're new to doing paint parties or learning what it is, welcome to you. 14 years ago, I started a paint party business called Gallery on the Go, and you can go to our website, galleryonthego.com. And I started my business in October of 2011. And I love it because right now we're in the fall season. And yeah, we're getting ready to celebrate 14 years doing that. And just waiting for a few more to join. So if you're joining us, please say something in the comments. I would love to say hello. I do live coaching, so your questions can come through if you have some questions, and I'm happy to answer them. There's a little bit of a delay, so I might keep speaking and then I'll see your comments. And then if you're watching this video even later on a replay, please leave me a note. Tell me you're working on your paint party business, something, because it gets a little lonely in the digital world. I'm like, is this even working? Is this helping anybody at all? And I would love to know if it's helping you. Of course, we have our Artsy members and our Artsy membership, and we talk in our Facebook group too, but it gets a little quiet. Like, I don't know if you're getting help. And something that happened when I started my business 14 years ago, because I had just started it as a side hustle and I was super young. I had middle school boys, and I didn't know what I was doing when I started this business. And we would have these round tables literally at my dining room table with my sister-in-law, my best friend, and we would just brainstorm ideas together. And so that's kind of how I feel like this morning. And now we live in this digital world, but I want you to just think like we're sitting at the table just having coffee. And I know it's a one-way conversation with me, but if you're in the chat, like I can see some of you. Hi, Isa from Chicago. I can see you there. And so that's what I love about coffee and coaching is intended to be like we're sitting at my dining room table. So that's what this is all about. I do love doing paint parties, and I've still been doing them for 14 years, even though my kids are empty nesters now. And actually, as we speak, my grandkids are downstairs. I already have grandchildren. And that's what can change in your life in 14 years, just to let you know. But what I love even more than doing painting parties is I love helping entrepreneurs get started in their business. I think of myself not having very much confidence. I wasn't an artist. And starting something like this is the best thing I've ever done for my life, for myself. And I love doing it still today. But I love even more coaching people who are looking to build confidence and to build a business to help them create a life they love. That's kind of one of the mottos I have in my life. And by the way, we live in this world where extra money is needed to buy the extras, right? And so that definitely was my case when I was starting my paint party business, being a stay-at-home mom with middle school boys. And the fall season is where the money's at, depending where you live. We do have some reps in Hawaii. I'm like, you're right, it's summer all the time. But for us, fall and being cozy and, the themes of the holidays and stuff like that are good tools to help you build your business. So hopefully you have downloaded the Paint Party Playbook. This is the second video kind of following along with that playbook. And it doesn't matter what time of year you're watching it, but if you're in the burrs, September, October, November, December, it's a great time to put that into play. And so this second video is all about refreshing your supplies. I'm trying to keep our call really to 30 minutes, 35 minutes if so, because I want you to take action on your business. I don't want you to just get stuck watching videos all the time. And so we're just going to jump right in. And if you're on the call, please say hi. All right, so let me turn on the PowerPoint because as you know, I like to do that, and it's usually a part of the video that can get wonky. And let's see. Let me make sure you guys can see it. Hold on, share my screen. You want to share screen 2, share screen 3. Okay, sorry about that. I have like 4 screens here, and so trying to get it on the right screen is really important. All right. All right. Well, let's see. Let's make sure you guys can see this going on here. I feel like it's still going to be on the wrong screen. Sorry, guys. This happens every time. And then I have to unplug this other one. Coming up. It's coming up. Okay, screen 2. We will just share screen 2. All right. Trying to figure out where we're at on my slide deck. Okay, here we go, guys. Thank you for your patience. It happens every week. I don't know why. All right, well, welcome to the seasonal refresh, seasonal upgrades. Here's what it looks like if you download that playbook. It's about 14, 15 pages. It's also just digital, so you don't have to print it or anything. I would love to hear if any of you actually did what I taught last week about carving out your calendar or making your vision board. I would love to hear that, know that if you're doing that. Obviously, you're carving out time today to watch this training. So these are the 3 things we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about refreshing your tools, organizing your supplies, and playing with something new. And I want you to think about just what's a creative touch that can set your events apart from anyone else who is doing this. You know we have mobile paint party businesses, other people around us. We want to support them too. Good job to everyone out there doing it. That's great when a lot of us are working in this industry. But the paint and sip venues, there's something that sets you apart from them is your mobile, your customizable. But other than that, the paint party industry, what's going to keep someone from doing it online, or what's going to keep them coming back to you is you having amazing customer service, but also that you're willing to try new things and have fun things, right? And so if you're new to the paint party world, I'm going to talk about how we do paint parties on canvas with easels, things like that. But in our industry, how you can change it up a little bit more. If you coming into this call right now, I'm going to assume you've already kind of started, maybe have already seen some of my other videos. But don't forget, I have another video called Paint Party Supply Must-Haves. You can go find it on this YouTube channel under some of our playlists and just watch the replay of that, because in that video, I actually go over all the supplies you should have for a basic painting party. And over time, how you're building up your supplies to have these basic paint parties with your aprons, your brushes, easels, all that good stuff. But for today's call, I'm going to go in deeper, knowing that you probably already have some of these materials. And you'll want to watch that supply video because I do talk about those basics. And one of the things we're going to talk about today are your brushes and cleaning them up and filling, buying some more, checking in on your paints, seeing if you need to refresh. Paint can go bad. And if it's been sitting for a while, you want to open it up, shake it up, smell it, see if it's gone bad. It does only have a shelf life of about 3 to 6 months after you've opened it. So we're going to talk about that too. So these are the basic supplies that you need. All right, I created a quick little checklist of refreshing your supplies, and I'm going to give you some of my favorite tips here. The reason you want to do some supply refresh right now is because if you are going to put things in high gear over the fall season, you just want everything in tip-top shape to get going, right? You don't want to be in the middle of a brush swap, like your brushes are starting to go bad or something. You want to already know that ahead of time. So if you need to start refreshing anything as you have your paint parties or events coming up, you can set aside some of that profit from those events to start investing back into your supplies. There's nothing worse than getting started to go into a busy season and you're like, man, I need everything. I need to clean everything up, fix my easels. And then it's heavily expensive at the beginning when you can pull aside some of your revenue from your parties. So here's the checklist. You can screenshot this. You want to check your brushes, obviously clean them, order any replacements. If you're an Artsy member, you can order some more brushes from us. We have some in stock with the color-coded tips that I showed you earlier. Check out your easels and palettes. Something I know is those easels start to get a little rickety. I have some easels that are like bowing in, so I need to definitely order about 4 or 5. The other thing is this is a great time to get your numbers up. Like if you can invest a little bit more, you can add what we call a painter setup, which is like buying in sets of 5 and things like that. So I definitely need to buy some more. I have some odd number of easels, so I'm going to buy a few more of those. Like I said, going through your paint, throwing out that old paint. The other thing you want to do is, I don't know where you stage your stuff. I have a basement where I have all of my supplies, and then I have a garage shelf where I keep my more current supplies. So what I'm going to be doing is switching out all my summer paintings. I didn't really work over the summer. I told you guys that in the last video. But I'm pulling out my Halloween paintings, my Thanksgiving paintings, just so they're easily accessible, especially the ones that I'm offering to my customers, so that I don't have to mad dash to the basement when someone asks if I have that painting. Organize your canvas. Do you need to order more? And something that's I've been doing in my business more, I've been using wrapped canvas more, which we do usually say use a flat panel canvas. It's better for traveling to people's houses. So I kind of need to take an inventory of what I have and make a decision of which I'm doing this season, if I'm doing more wrapped canvas or flat panel canvas. The next thing I'm definitely gonna do is I'm washing my aprons. You guys, I haven't washed my aprons for a while. I would say at all this year. And the reason I hate washing my aprons is because they get so tangled up. So one thing I've known and one thing I'm doing right now is I'm buying these laundry bags. So you can look them up on Amazon, and you want to put like 3 or 4 aprons in one of those laundry bags, throw all of the laundry bags in the washing machine, because otherwise the strings get super tangled. So you don't want that to happen. And then also what I do use is I do use Febreze a lot. So you can, you also just buy Febreze and freshen them up. I do freshen them up after every use. So definitely do that. Washing your cups. Now, early in my paint party business, I used to wash my cups after every single party. And then I started letting them build up, make maybe after 1 or 2 parties. And then, so wash your cups. I don't know how long it's been since you wash your cups. And by the way, we promote using reusable cups because I don't like to waste plastic. So we have gallery on the go cups, and so I wash them. I get black cups, and sometimes when they're all stained up with black or with paint, it's fine because it's a paint party. But sometimes they start to smell or get gross, and it's kind of fun. You can peel that paint off. And then this is also a good time to print your business materials, business cards, anything like that. One other thing I'm doing is I'm updating some of my totes. We used to have, and I still use them, are like the old grocery totes, like the soft-sided bags, but they're really not flat on the bottom. And so they're like duffel, you know what I'm talking about. They're like the grocery bags. I love the boxed grocery bags now. I use it for everything that I transport around. It just keeps everything a lot more organized, and you can actually fit more, and they carry more heavier weight. So I'm actually ordering these. You can screenshot it just on Amazon. They come in packages of 3. You can look for fun colors for the season if that's your jam. I try to reuse things for to keep them for all year. And this teal color is a fun color that we have in our business, and my other tote bags are that color. So it might be a good time to refresh how you're taking your supplies. Maybe you need to buy a wagon. Wagon is clutch for our business and transporting as well. All right, and the next thing I want to talk to you about are other things that you can buy. This is, again, if you're in a place to add to your business. Sometimes you can mark up events coming up in the holidays. So mark them up to, $30, $35, $40, because that extra margin will allow you to upgrade some of your supplies and your experience. In this video here, I'm showing you how I add little touches. I just go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's and buy cute little napkins or these little Thanksgiving place cards. And it adds to your event without adding a ton of expense. So I kind of did that for a Thanksgiving event. The picture you see here with Bob Ross, you can buy that cutout of Bob Ross. I think it's like $47 on Amazon. So just type in Bob Ross cutout. I pretty much take him to all parties, and everyone goes crazy about him. He's become a lot more famous after he passed away. But that is something I actually need to order a new one. My last Bob Ross was bending at the knees every time we would try. So that's something new that I'm ordering this season as well. The other part about adding to your supplies are just fun things, photo props. The better your photo props are, the more likely the women are to take pictures at your events, like you see here. And it just makes the event so much more, makes people want to book with you because it looks just that much more fun than any other type of paint party. Glasses are the best and most affordable thing. You can get them on Amazon. So I looked up some Halloween ones. The heart glosses are some of my favorites. They now have like these ombre ones and these Thanksgiving colored ones. They have tons of fun Halloween props. Now, they're not comfortable to wear when you're painting, but they make those fun photo props. Now, your customers are going to think they can take them, but I always just say at the beginning, hey, ladies, I use these props at all of my parties. Feel free to take pictures in them, but they're not to keep. And so usually people are pretty understanding, but every now and then they disappear a little slowly. So I wanted to go back. I do have some pictures of the women with the heart glasses coming up too. All right, so those are just some fun little doodads to add to your party. Other ideas are like tablecloths, changing up your color of tablecloths, the napkins that you use. I try to still use like the other napkins that absorb better, but those fun napkins make for fun decor. So you can do that as well. All right, so let's get going to, I'm just trying to check us out on YouTube to make sure it's working. Do that. Washing your cups. Oh, I see some of you talking about on the comments that the Dollar Tree has zipper laundry bags. That's a great idea. Thank you. And Sherry wants a link to the playbook. Sherry, I'll link it. It should be linked in the notes. If it's not, I will link it in the notes, but also get on our email list. You can get on our email list at artsyassociation.com, and then I will email it out to you as well if you add your email in there too. All right, so let's talk about the next few. I'm going to share with you some of my favorite supplies for fall. And so when you get the playbook, these 6 items are located in the playbook. And I'm going to break each one of them down now for you. All right, so let's talk about wood surfaces first. So this is the picture I was waiting to show you. These are their cute little glasses that they're wearing, and they're super fun at all of these events. I like to take them. They work for most every single event. I work with a lot of women. Okay, but I wanted to share with you this rainbow birch painting that I do, this very popular painting. In fact, I think these are 2 separate church events. Both of them had over 100 people at each of them, and we painted the same thing. And so, oh, actually, no, it's the same event. It is the same event. Sorry, I did paint rainbow birch with another 100-person women's church group. Anyway, what I'm wanting to tell you here is these are wood panels. Okay, now my wood panels are about $1.50, maybe to $2 each. I have a local lumber company that cuts them, but you can also usually get them done at Home Depot. Home Depot usually has rules that you need to cut 12 inches or more or bigger. And so these are about 22 to 24 inches tall. And it's just your standard like 8-inch wide. Anyhow, if you actually add this or compare this cost to canvas, a wood surface is not that much more expensive, and it elevates the event. Now, these events, if you look at the tables, I didn't use easels because I had over 100 people. So using the wood panels elevates the event, but actually helps you with the event so that you're not having to have a bunch of easels there. So if you're looking to build up your supplies, and you haven't bought easels yet, doing paintings on wood can actually help you before you get there. I do still recommend doing easels for canvas paint parties. I do not recommend painting canvas on the table. That just feels a little crafty. But anyway, these wood panels can elevate the event. They make amazing artwork pieces, as you can see by these pictures. I also use wood in 12 by 12. My lumber person will also cut 12 by 12 canvas. You can see these paintings that we did. It's a little throwback to the COVID times when we were painting during COVID. And these are 12 by 12 paintings, and also add to the event. But again, it doesn't change much of your cost. But for these people that I was painting with in this picture, these are my camp sisters. And so we would do an event every single year, right around now, right around September. And to change it up for them, this is what I would do. I would bring different things so we weren't doing a paint party every single time the same exact way. What you see here, we did a like United States stencil, and we also did a Hello Fall painting. So it was kind of a variety that they could choose from, and they came out amazing. This is one of my favorite renditions is this United States stripes painting. All right, there's another sample at an event I did for a company that used to have me come in once. This was pre-COVID also. They had me come in to their conference room once a month, and this was a Valentine one that we did. Same thing we did on the wood, and this is one of our paintings called Grateful, I think, but we changed the words. I always change the words for the season. All right, but another wood item that you could use is called basswood, and you can buy these. This is a live shot from Amazon. We used to buy them from Walnut Hollow, was a company that we used to have a wholesale discount. The paint party industry has really evolved in our supplies because Amazon, you can just find amazing rates on there. But I would support Walnut Hollow if you could, if you wanted to buy. They have amazing things. They have wood burners and things like that as well, which I will talk about here in a second. But this is what we call basswood round, and you can buy them in packages of 10. So look at the price here. $43.99 for 10 of them. That means your cost is about I don't know with shipping or anything like that, but less than $5 a person. If you're charging $35 for a basswood round paint party, it's an elevated experience for your customers. So definitely $35, $45, depending on where you live. And this is one of our paintings. I think it's called Harvest Sunflowers is one of our paintings, and I did it on the basswood, and it's beautiful. I ended up giving it to my mom as a gift in Thanksgiving, but you could do beautiful paintings on basswood. And so that is a way to change up the theme. Someone who's had paint parties with you before, this is a new thing that you can offer. And if you're in community rec centers or anything like that, this definitely makes it sound a little bit different than your traditional paint party. Still using the basswood or even these rectangular wood planks. They're kind of like the live edge wood. I bought these just for my own personal use. I bought them from Michael's at the time because Michael's used to have great coupons, not as much anymore, but you could buy the rectangular live edge for Michael's and probably on Amazon too. I haven't looked them up. But this is wood burning. If you ever wanted to consider adding wood burning into your events, a couple of tips I have about this. First of all, it smells quite a bit like burnt wood. Some people like it, some people don't. I would keep this to a smaller party, like 8 to 10 people. You would have to buy your own little wood burning tool for each of them. So it's a bigger investment up front. This one here runs about $15 on Amazon. You would have to have a power strip there. It can be a little bit more dangerous. I wouldn't do it with kids. Although kids and Cub Scouts, we used to do wood burning all the time. So it kind of just depends on the liability you want to have. But I wanted to show you, these are two of our paintings from the Gallery on the Go gallery, and I made them with wood burning. And so what you do is you outline the photo first. It's pretty forgiving. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect. You outline it. You can see it on the top photo there, and then you paint it. And so you just use your regular paint, and it kind of turns into a little bit of watercolor as you add water. So that is also a fun technique. Again, teaching wood burning, you could do this at a local community or rec center. You can certainly upcharge it for this type of event. You're talking $45, $50 for this type of event, and you're teaching people something new. If you ever wanted to teach people a sampling of it, you could do little wood slices, because we've done small wood slices in our Artsy pop-ups as well. All right, so that's a fun second tip that I have there to make you stand out from the competition. The third thing are wood cutouts. So wood cutouts, like this is a sugar skull. Diverse Woodworking has amazing wood cutouts if you've never seen them. Hobby Lobby and Michael's also have wood cutouts, but they are significantly more. I wouldn't buy them retail at all because they're like $10, $15. Like they're super marked up. But if you buy them from Diverse Woodworking, they're far more affordable, these size, and they sell minis and they sell large ones, and they can also create a custom design for you at no extra charge. So I highly recommend Diverse Woodworking. The picture you see here on the screen are sugar skulls. They painted the front, so you can see they painted the front and then did some dot work with the back of the brush. but then behind it is glitter paper. So they were gluing paper from behind. Now, that's just because this is a sugar skull design. You can do, I have another picture of other cutouts here. So these cutouts are a stocking. They hand painted that with some tape, put some ribbon and things like that on there. The ornaments were paper piecing. So we did some more, they painted it and then did paper piecing with the trees. The one on the top is, we actually, this was a custom design we had them make, were like those slat palette kind of rounds, and they became door hangers. So that's a fun way to change up the holidays. It adds a slightly more expense than your traditional canvas, but again, it just changes up the type of party that you are having. So tell me how you're tracking. Tell me which of these supplies so far you're loving. Tell me which ones you think you might want to be doing. Tell me your experience with Diverse Woodworking, if you've ever worked with them or if you know of any other suppliers. They're really fantastic. They're a small company, I think, over in like Kentucky or something, and do really great work. All right, the next supply that I have to add to your fall is metallic paint or gold leafing. So metallic paint, super easy to add. You can buy a metallic paints at your local craft store online. Even if you're using Dick Blick, we highly recommend Dick Blick for all of our paint. And they have some metallics as well that I order from them. So I usually order bronze, gold, and silver. Gold is definitely the most popular. And you can now add that shimmer to any of your fall or winter paintings. As you can see on the screen, these are some of our paintings. But gold leafing, which I meant to put a picture on here, and you can YouTube it, whatever, but you can just add like some Mod Podge onto the leaves. You add the gold flake, and I have tons of it downstairs. You add the gold flake and then it kind of brushes off, but where the Mod Podge was, it sticks. And it just adds that beautiful texture. It adds just a little different element to whatever you're painting. And so we have a ton of tree paintings in our Gallery on the Go library. And that's just how you can change up your paintings. You can add gold leafing or metallic paint. Also, I highly recommend gold pens. There's a pen called Deco Art Gold Pen, and it's the cheapest I've ever found it is at Walmart. They're like $4. Maybe they've increased in price. On Amazon, they definitely increased. So look it up. It's called Deco Art Gold Leaf Pen. Not gold leaf, I think it's just gold pen. And it's the most vibrant, most beautiful gold. I use those gold pens in a lot of my different projects. Also, Posca has some gold pens that you can use as well. The Posca gold pens would be great. You can add little touches to your paintings. Speaking of other paint during this season, I have personally never done a glow party, but it is big in our industry. I started to, we have a little Christmas painting that we've done, and we've done like black lights. So the thing with a glow party is you're going to have to buy some black lights, and they are affordable on Amazon. You can totally do it. It's totally doable. I wrote up a training where you buy a little, you do the black light in the room for kids, and then you buy them little black light flashlights and they can shine on their painting. It's a super cute idea. I wrote up a training about it, but I have personally never done a glow in the dark party. But I've trained on it, which is not with my firsthand experience, but you can buy a specialty paint that is glowing. It's a little difficult because of the quality. It's a little bit more opaque. And sometimes you have to paint, on white first and then add the glow in the dark painting. The other thing that you can do is just add neon paint. And so neon paint and glow in the dark paint are two different things. But neon paint, especially for those fun Halloween parties, our kids love that type of thing, right? And so you can add those fun neon colors to a traditional, your traditional spooky haunted house or something like that. And you could still use the black light on neon light too, by the way, it'll still show up. The two paintings you see on the right of your screen here is something that I did. I actually have a TikTok on how I did it. You could go watch it on our Artsy Association TikTok. But you just trace those images so you can see like the Nike shoe or the SpongeBob Patrick doll there. This was for an event where we actually just used markers. We didn't do paint. And you'll want to go watch the tutorial on that. And that is also a fun addition to your paint party business. It adds a little bit more expense because you are using those markers. If you're working with kids, it can get a little sloppy. I wouldn't try painting those fine lines with brushes, but this is a fun, trendy new thing. It's a little bit different to make like these neon signs is kind of what those images are intended to be. So go look me up on TikTok, Artsy Association. Actually, I think it's called Artsy Association is my TikTok. I can't remember. Anyway, go on there and I have a little tutorial on that. The next thing about those fun paint colors is here I wanted to show you how I did a boho paint line. So in the fall, you can see these wood slices I have here. Those were called boho paint slices, boho inspired paint slices. And so I bought a whole series of, I just went to Hobby Lobby and bought tiny little colors. So I don't recommend using these size of paint bottles if you're always doing paint parties because it's just a waste to the environment on the paint bottles. And your cost per ounce is just outrageous. So definitely buy bigger bulk paint for paint parties. But when I do my artsy pop-ups, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute here, I do buy some of these more trendy colors and they're just a lot more fun. When you're doing an artsy pop-up, you don't have time to mix a bunch of new colors with your guests. So definitely having those little fun colors are great. Now, while we're here on this slide, you may as well see those little cutouts that I have there for my artsy pop-ups, our little fall kind of wood cut out ornaments. And I bring those to my pop-ups, whatever season I'm in, and they make like those wood bead kind of things that you see in the picture there. Also, what I want you to see in this picture, which is the next thing I'm going to talk about, is modeling paste. So you can see that little rainbow little on the left side here with the trees. That is texture, and that's what I call modeling paste. So I'm going to tell you about that now. So this is kind of the best picture I have of getting up close to a piece of canvas. This was made with a stencil, so it's a butterfly stencil. And then that modeling paste was from TCW, the Crafters Workshop, I think is their name. So they do also sell modeling paste. They also sell it on Amazon. And I have found, I just wait for it to go 50% off at Hobby Lobby. And you need a palette knife. And then what happens is you can put the stencil down, or I'll show you in a second when I make those trees, how I do it. And then it's like plaster. It feels like plaster, and you kind of like a thick frosting, if you think about that. And you frost over the stencil, and then you lift the stencil up and it leaves this trace of whatever the stencil is. Then you got to let it dry. And what happens is it adds texture to your painting. So here's some samples of what I did at an artsy pop-up. You can see I plastered these little 3x3 pieces of wood. And so as they painted on them, they added a little like vintagey kind of feel. The top right ones are certainly my most favorite ones. It's hard to tell in the picture, but up close, they just are textured. Here's another example of those trees. I tried to find better pictures so that you could see that. So underneath those rainbow trees, you can see that that's a 5x5 piece of wood. And I just freehand those trees. I just make straight lines with the palette knife. And then it makes a great painting. I use it all year round for all of my paint parties. And then they can paint what we call rainbow trees or winter trees. And they use Q-tips to make those dots. It's the greatest. And so I'm going to talk to you about an artsy pop-up here in a minute. This painting, again, it's hard to tell in the painting, but up close, these flowers that these women have right here, that is also a piece of wood. It's like probably an 8x10 kind of piece of wood. And I just textured it, and then they painted those flowers, and it just it makes it feel like a different type of artwork. The painting you see on the right-hand side was a stencil of a mountainscape, and that's just on canvas. And I textured the canvas with those stencils, and that my customers absolutely love that. We're in Colorado, so mountains are important for us. And so again, it adds, it does take a little bit more prep work on your part. I had to stencil these the night before, let them dry, and then pack them up the next morning. But what I love about these is I don't have to instruct step by step. Like the mountain one is amazing because they just simply paint it the way they want to. And I'm just walking around watching them. So it takes a little bit more prep work ahead of time, but it makes the paintings, the customers, a lot more happy with their paintings. Especially if you don't have time to do a step by step. This event is what I call a pop up. So I took up these events, would get some of my leftover material, and I would just pop up for 2 to 3 hours in a professional workspace, and they would come drop in. And we have an Artsy pop up training for our Artsy members. If you're watching this at the time live, it's coming up in October. But if you're watching the recording of this, you'll be able to see a training on this coming up soon. You want to learn about pop ups. These are miniature projects that you can make outside of a traditional paint party, and you can charge a great amount of money for 3 hours, and you just kind of create these little art stations. So I can't wait to tell you more about an Artsy pop-up. All right, I feel like I'm talking 100 miles an hour because there's so much to share with you. I'm always so excited. I don't see any comments about what you're loving in here, so tell me what you're loving. All right, well, that's all I have for that supply. You want to mark your calendar for the next Coffee and Coaching, where I'm going to tell you all about curating your own fall art collection, how you want to simplify the offerings that you have coming up for October, November, December, whether you want to create themes, whether you want to create a fun series, and how to create your own curated collection. I'm going to share more about that with you. I'm going to teach you some AI tricks next week. And also maybe you want to create some themes like a fun witch party or a boo brunch or a Dia de los Muertos kind of party. So come back next week. But for today, I want you to just focus on cleaning your supplies. And I want you to actionably go park an hour or two to clean up your supplies, organize them, and get yourself excited for what's coming. If you have more time, go start booking parties. Book some parties for October, November. If you have time, get ready. And by getting your supplies ready, hopefully you get excited for that. Anyway, I always enjoy hopefully giving you some inspiration to get going on your business. If you feel stuck in any way, even though you're maybe watching this recording or something, type in the chat a question that you would love for me to answer. I'm very responsive on our YouTube channel. I also will coach it in the next video that I do live. And if you are not on our email list, you want to go to our website, artsyassociation.com, and click on one of those freebies down there. It'll ask you for your email. That's how you'll get on our email list, and I will email it out. But I will also link the playbook here in the YouTube videos. I thought I did, but YouTube is weird on how it allows links. So I'll try to get that. You might have to copy paste it so that you can get that playbook. All right. I'm hoping the best for you. Go out and create a life you love using art, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.